South of the border, lots to talk about. The first presidential nomination contest for Republicans, that gets underway tonight in Iowa. 40 delegates are up for grabs in the state. 1,215 are needed to secure the nomination. Voters must show up in person to make their choice, but weather is expected to be a major factor. For more on this, we're joined now by John Misick, politics editor with MassLive.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Most political pundits agree here that this is Donald Trump's to lose, Iowa, that is. So I guess the question becomes, who will come in second? Will be Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis? How will this, or will this rather, be a turning point in this race and for their campaigns?
Sure. Lena, yeah, I don't think there's any question this is former President Trump's to lose. Final Des Moines Register poll going into Monday today shows him up by 30 points. Nikki Haley trailing far distant. Ron DeSantis also, they are both within the margin of error with each other there. This is all about momentum. In a way, this is kind of like the NCAA tournament. You've got the #1 seed in Trump going up against the #30 seed, and so their hope is to not get skunked too badly and come out of this with at least some momentum. Iowa and then New Hampshire right after it was already a pretty thin Republican nominating pack. So both DeSantis and Haley have to hope for decent performances tonight, 15, 20-ish% to keep into the next states.
Yeah, if they want to have any kind of shot at staying in this race. That leads me to my next question. How will this set things up for the New Hampshire primary? And I talk about that, not South Carolina, because that is where Nikki Haley is going to be doing quite well, according to the polls.
Yeah, New Hampshire and Iowa are two, obviously, besides being geographically different, are very demographically and politically different states. In Iowa, you have a smaller state with a whiter, more conservative population that's hewing well for Donald Trump. In New Hampshire, you have more moderate Republicans, more college-educated Republicans, theoretically people who should be for Nikki Haley. So again, if she comes out of Iowa tonight, not too badly damaged, with a bit of momentum going into New Hampshire and maybe picks up a head of steam there, where polling has shown the race to be a lot tighter, it could make a difference for her heading in, as you said, into South Carolina, which is her own home state.
Right. Most of us remember when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis entered this race. That certainly made a lot of noise. Are you surprised that he's not doing as well? What is it about his message that's not resonating with the Republican electorate?
Yeah, DeSantis is kind of the great fade of Republican politics. Everyone thought he was going to be the Trump killer when he first emerged on the scene. He doesn't, based on anecdotally, at least anyway, he has a hard time connecting with voters. He's good in speeches, not particularly good one-on-one. And again, when you're trying to be Trump in a state where Trump is reigning supreme, it's hard to differentiate yourself. A state like New Hampshire, again, which is a little bit more moderate, harder there with the message as well. He's been having trouble with staff. He's been having trouble, with fundraising as well. So, after tonight, a poor showing for Ron DeSantis could be a very different day for him on Tuesday.
Yeah, this will be telling for sure. John, this is the coldest caucus in Iowa's history, and people, party faithful, they have to show up in person to vote. How do you think that's going to impact turnout?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting kind of contest. For your viewers, Atlanta, this is not like a plebiscite where they show up, flip a lever, and then take off. These are party meetings, sometimes that last for a couple of hours, and they take care of party business, go through routine stuff, and then the Republicans vote by secret ballot for whom they want as their candidate. So showing up really makes a difference, and this is going to be really a test of each of the candidates' get out the vote operation. They've been beating the bushes leading up until Monday. We know that Donald Trump's supporters tend to be the most enthusiastically, at least anecdotally, out of the bunch. So, there could be 20 feet of snow on the ground. Probably a lot of them are going to come out. But again, this is extraordinary weather there in Iowa tonight. Going to be a real test for these campaigns, getting these folks out to these caucus meetings.
Yeah, and of course, all the candidates hoping Republicans will brave the elements tonight for that very crucial vote. John Misick, politics editor with MassLive.com. Always a pleasure. Thank you.